Welcome to Resume Well. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Resume Well for another solo episode. And here we are. We are coming up to the end of January. So I just wanted to check in with everybody and see how everybody's feeling. A lot has transpired. It's not even the end of January, and we've already kind of gone through it. So if you're feeling a little, how should I say this? Maybe a little less than great, this is the episode for you, okay? It is short, and I'm just going to get right to it. I'm going to give you 5 very simple, very practical, and very easy ways to boost your mood during the day, before work, during work, after work, anytime when you feel like you just need like a little bit of like here are 5 very simple ways. And I guarantee you that one of them will work. You have 5, one should work. Okay. So stick with me and welcome back to Resume Well. I'm so excited for you guys to just chill out for, 15 minutes or so on your car ride, wherever you are. Here we are. So everybody just take a big, deep breath in through your nose, hold it, and out through your nose. And just bring yourself back to where you are, wherever that is. So the easiest way to remember what these 5 mood boosters are is just to remember that you have 5 senses. You are a human and you have 5 senses. So we're going to do 1 mood booster per sense. Okay, the first mood booster, the first sense is sight. Sight, I think we all sort of think of that as the first sense, right? Because when we open our eyes, we're immediately conscious. We have to be conscious if our eyes are open, usually. And all I mean by sight and mood boosters is to find something every day. Take a moment, whether it's an actual moment, 60 seconds, or a 2-hour movie, whatever time you have to allot to this, take it. It could be something as simple as just looking out the window at your favorite tree. That's a very, very small thing, but it can really boost your mood if you're in the middle of like a really difficult conversation at work, or you're just not feeling motivated. Take a moment, glance out the window at your favorite tree, or at the sunrise or the sunset, or just something that brings you a little bit of happiness, right? So again, that could be a moment. It could be a whole movie that you really love, coming out of the holiday season. I think we all watched some of our comfort movies. Love Actually, The Holiday, I know, is one for a lot of people. We all have that like during the actual year. It doesn't have to be just for, the holidays. Mine is Pride and Prejudice. I love that movie. It just makes me happy. It's visually stunning. It's so beautiful. It has a beautiful score. I love Keira Knightley, and I also have this thing for the English countryside. So if I don't have the entire, I don't know what it is. I think I was supposed to be born in England. But anyway, if I don't have time to watch the whole movie, or if I'm just too tired from the day, I will just go on Pinterest and I'll look at, visuals of the English countryside, and it weirdly makes me happy. And it brings me sort of this inexplicable peace. I don't know why, but it works. So whatever that is for you. Another great movie is Vicky Cristina Barcelona. So funny. You could be in the worst mood and watch that movie and come out laughing. I mean, it's amazing. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. So any of those, older movies that you love that will put you in a good mood, and you're like, ugh, like you just had a shitty day, just watch it. You don't even have to finish it. You know how it ends. Anything like that. Anything visual that will make you happy. If you're a sunrise person, great. Make it a point to wake up every day to see the sunrise. You've already built that into your schedule. Wonderful. You have a mood booster every day. Great. If you're not a morning person and you don't want to wake up to see the sunrise, I totally get it. Find something else, something that looking at it will help bring you a sense of either peace, happiness, or just a moment to catch your breath. Yes? Yes. Wonderful. Okay, moving on. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet because I know that you are busy and I know that you need short, sweet mood boosters. So number 2, hearing, sound. Sound has an incredible impact on our mood. I think we all know that listening to a song, a certain song can really affect your mood instantaneously, and it can bring back a memory very, very quickly. So try creating just a 5-minute daily routine of intentional listening, whether that's playing your favorite upbeat song, maybe to get you going in the morning, or maybe it's at night playing kind of a wind down song. Would love for people to start doing that. I think that would help with sleep a lot. Or maybe it's even just sitting outside and listening to whatever's happening outside. So nature primarily, but whatever's going on outside, the birds or, the kids playing down the street, just something that kind of keeps you present and keeps you a little more at peace. Research actually shows that music can be especially helpful in reducing the stress hormone and increasing endorphins. So even the simplest act of humming or singing can really shift your emotional state. And I love this. So I used to take singing lessons in high school. I was never exceptional in any way, but I just really loved it. And I was into theater and all of that. So I took singing lessons and I always loved it. It was just great. I still, if I'm feeling just kind of down or just kind of blah, when I get in the car, I will put on some crazy song that I definitely shouldn't sing in public ever, but I will belt that shit into the ether. And it really does shift my mood. It wakes me up and makes me happier. There is something about when you're singing, it is impossible for you to be embarrassed. And especially if you're alone in your car, who cares if the person drives up next to you and can see you? Honestly, you're probably making their day better. So if you're at a total loss with sound, if you just are not a big music person or whatever, just hum. Just that humming actually creates that vibration and will help bring you back into your body, right? So all of these are really grounding experiences. And humming is one of the most primitive ways that you can do that. Saying Om, A-U-M, that alone, if you're what do I hum? Just Om. That alone will help bring you back to yourself, create a little bit of space for yourself and a moment of peace. Also, if you're a podcast listener, pop on a podcast. There are so many podcasts. This one is great. Thank you for listening. But, there are so many podcasts that are 5 minutes long, an hour long, 3 hours. I mean, we all know there are the 3-hour Joe Rogan episodes that you can pop on and keep listening to every time you get in the car, right? So there are a lot of ways to use sound to your advantage to help you ground yourself, to help boost your mood just a little bit. And we're not talking if we're at a 0, if you're just starting the day off, what is happening in the world, right? I think we're all thinking that to some degree. If you're starting at a 0, I'm not talking about these making, jumping you up, jacking you up all the way to a 10. What we're looking for is really just a tick up, a tick up, a tick up. And as you keep doing it, you'll really start to integrate those into your everyday rituals and practices and life. And soon they'll become second nature. And hopefully that will lead to just an overall happier life, right? So, number 3, smell. Our sense of smell is actually directly linked to the emotional center of our brain. And I think we all know that smells can really trigger memory because our memories are linked to emotion, right? So each morning, take a moment to experience an energizing scent. Each morning, take a moment to experience a really energizing scent. So coffee beans, great. And orange, great. 2 very energizing scents. Citrus is always going to be a little bit uplifting, right? So lemon, lime, orange, pineapple, grapefruit, all of those are really uplifting scents and can kind of help you, get a little jazzed. Also, keep a bottle of lavender or peppermint oil at your desk. Here's why. If you need just a really quick mood reset, you just had a really stressful call or you're just really amped up, the whole day has just been an onslaught of shit, for lack of a better word. Lavender, it helps calm you. It's called the mother scent, the mother oil, the mother aromatherapy oil, right? Because It is so healing, and I love lavender. I have always had issues with sleep, so I have a long history with lavender, and it really does help to just calm you down. It's not a magic spell. It's not like immediately you're going to feel like, oh my God, I'm like amazingly better. It's a moment. Inhaling is also forcing you to take a nice big breath in. Doing that will help you tap into that parasympathetic system. And the peppermint is great if you need a little bit of, uplift and focus. Peppermint is very good for focus. And as someone with ADHD, let me tell you, any help I can get there, I will take it. So peppermint and lavender, great to have at your desk. In the morning, try something citrusy, something coffee based, and you should get there, right? And if you have a favorite scent, so one really great tip that I don't even know where I picked this up, but it really helped me when I was working from home before the pandemic. So before the pandemic, I worked from home. Obviously, it was before it became a really big thing. And I would have a lot of trouble figuring out how to switch on and off between like, I'm home all day. So, when do I work? When do I not? When do I like tap in and tap out of that work mentality? And lighting candles really, really helped me. So in the morning, I would light a candle to signify the beginning of the workday. And it was always this like really uplifting scent. I think it was Aloha Orchid from Voluspa, which I might be saying wrong, but great scent. So nice, so bright and cheery and like not overpowering, but it kind of just woke me up. And in the evening, I would always light, like at the end of my workday, I would always light a lavender based candle. So there was one I'm thinking of, it was like French Cade and lavender. And I think it was also Voluspa. I am a candle geek, so I love candles. If you need candle recommendations, I'm here for you. But those two were really great for signifying the beginning of the workday and the end of the workday. Anyway, okay, boop, boop, boop. Okay, great. One last thing I will say about scent is if you do have an essential oil that you really like, if you're not into essential oils, no worries. But if you just have some, even a lotion or something that you can just take a whiff of, right? That sounds really bad, but that you can just take a, nice whiff of during the day, do that, because forcing yourself to take that breath can be really, really helpful. And you don't even really realize that you're doing it, but just that big breath in, do it. Anything that helps you reconnect to the breath, reconnect to your body and ground yourself, do it. Give yourself something to anchor that breath moment. The fourth sense is taste. Maybe most people's favorite. The simple act of mindfully eating. I mean, I think there are like podcasts on just mindful eating. So, it's a big topic. But just to break it down, take your time. If you eat breakfast, great. If you don't, I'm not going to pressure you to. We're adults. We know what we like. We know what works for us. But whatever your first meal is, the first thing that you eat during the day, in the day, after you wake up, take it slow. So my exercise for you and for me, I will do this with you. Take 3 slow, conscious bites before doing the thing that you're going to be doing. Try not to work. Try not to be standing. Try to sit down away from your computer screen. I know you've heard all this before, but it does really help. If you can't do any of those things, if you're like, I have so much to do, I have to work, chew slow. That's it. That is it. Bring it back to just chewing slow. Notice what you're eating. Eating is like the best part of the day. So why are we rushing through it? Right? One more taste tip. Dark chocolate. I'm going to be your best friend by the end of this episode because I keep telling you to eat things. Dark chocolate, keep it in your desk drawer or your bag or whatever. Most women, I feel like most women know this, but dark chocolate has a lot of magnesium and caffeine. So magnesium can help relax us. Obviously, we know what caffeine does. So it's pretty balanced and it tastes delicious and it's chocolate. It's wonderful. Just do it. Keep it there. It'll give you a little bit of like keep going. Taste tip number 2, coffee. We're going to go back to coffee. So after you have smelled the coffee beans and you are drinking the coffee, take a moment to actually appreciate the coffee, especially if it's like the afternoon coffee, right? So if you just spend $7 on a latte, no judgment, by the way, They are delicious and so worth it. If you have spent $7 on the latte, please enjoy your latte. Just enjoy it, even if it's just 3 sips of it. I think Starbucks now has like the first sip feeling or whatever. And they really nailed it because it's true. For some reason though, that afternoon coffee, it doesn't hit quite as as the morning coffee. So give yourself a moment to let it land, take a moment, have your 3 sips of coffee before you put it down and go back to whatever you're doing. Just to give yourself that little anchor of mindfulness and happiness. Like, I can afford a $7 latte, right? Or a $3 iced coffee, whatever it is. I have the capability of drinking coffee in a place that makes me happy. That's great. Not everybody can do that, right? So a little bit of gratefulness, a little bit of happiness, a little bit of caffeine, never hurt anybody. And coming in last, but certainly not least, touch. Touch has a remarkable power to soothe and ground us. Think of a massage. I mean, how amazing. Everybody on vacation gets a massage. Like if you don't, you want one, right? So think about that for a moment. It really encapsulates how incredible touch can be and how necessary touch is for humans. So obviously we're not going to get a massage every day, although it would be great. But if you can, especially if you're into, moving your body every day and you try to stay in shape and you're lifting weights or whatever it is, whatever you do, even if lifting weights is a toddler that you're lifting, right? My toddlers weigh 30 something pounds now. So they're very heavy. And I swear I have like half of my arm muscles are from just picking up toddlers, not from working out. Whatever you're doing, I'm sure you need that recovery. Give it to yourself once a month, maybe once every 2 months if that's too much to ask, but give yourself that. On the days that you're not getting a massage, take time each day to experience different textures. I know this sounds weird, but it could be your dog. So I have a big yellow lab. He is very soft and I love squishing him because he is so soft. His ears are like velvet. I don't know if you've ever touched a lab's ears, but they are so soft and it's like therapy. It's like a little therapy, exercise that I do. And it does make me feel better. Also, he's adorable. And I know that he loves me because he's a dog and they unconditionally love you. So there's also that. If you don't have a dog and you like them, get one. Anyway, I digress. Run your fingers across anything that brings you joy. So soft blankets, maybe cold water on your face at the end of the day would be so great. Give yourself a quick little hand massage. Also, stress balls or any kind of textured stone you can keep at your desk. Amazing for middle of the day, tactile touch stones, literally touch stones, right? So if you're having a really stressful day, if you are tired, if you are just not feeling 100%, have a designated stone that maybe it's smooth, maybe it's a little rigid, but just have that and just bringing your attention to the feeling of it. It's amazing. It's like so simple, but it actually boosts your mood a little bit because all of a sudden you're not thinking about Debbie asking you to do whatever spreadsheet it is. You're just having a moment to yourself and you can control that and you can give that to yourself 2 seconds, right? Touch tip number 2. That sounds really inappropriate, but I don't mean it that way. Simple stretching. I cannot sit here as a yoga teacher and not mention stretching, even though yoga is not just stretching. It is so much more than that, but there is a lot of stretching in it. So if you are watching on YouTube, I'm going to give you a quick, very simple stretch that you can do. And I would just suggest just start with one stretch a day. One stretch a day. You will want to do more because it feels so good, but start with one. And if you were not aware, we are on YouTube now. So if you have a moment to go to YouTube after this to watch, even just for this one simple stretch, worth it. I will try to explain what I'm doing if you're just listening. But because a lot of us are sitting all day, we're driving all day, we sit to eat, we're sitting. A lot of us are always hunched over, right? Even if we don't realize it, our shoulders are kind of slumped like this. We have that kind of arched back that we don't mean to be having. Our core isn't engaged, right? So that's why you see a lot of older people walking around with almost like a hunchback or they shrink. this is one of the reasons why. So something to counteract working on your computer like this, driving like this, and eating like this, be throwing those shoulders back and down. So making as much space between those earlobes and the tops of your shoulders and pulling those shoulder blades together. So imagine that you're trying to hold a pencil in between your shoulder blades and just keep them there and then let it go. And then just keep them there and let it go. Keep them there, squeeze that pencil and let it go. So we're really expanding the chest, super, super gentle, super simple chest opener, right? Yes. And it feels so good. And you can do this all day long. You can do it at your desk. You can do it while you're driving. It is very easy. Everybody can do this and it will not hurt you. It'll help you. So just to put a pin in that stretching exercise, simple stretching really engages your sense of touch through muscle movement, and it can immediately shift that physical and emotional state, especially, confidence-wise. If you're giving a presentation like this, my friends, it's not going to go well. If you go into a job interview and sit like this, all slunched over in the job interview, I highly doubt that you're going to get called back to come in for a second interview. If you come in and sit like this, even if you aren't super confident in your abilities, you're going to look it. And my God, so much of C-suite shit is presentation. I know I could have said that much more eloquently, but fuck it. It is. That is what it is. A huge part of job interviewing, a huge part of workplace presentation is all about your physical stance and how you present yourself physically, right? So shoulders drop away from the ears, shoulder blades pull together. That's it. Down, together, down, together. And you can do that while you sit at a red light. You can do it as you sit at the table. You can do it in your car. Very easy. So those are the 5 mood boosters associated with each sense. Bonus tip, I always like to give you guys a little bonus, movement. And I could do a whole episode on this, but I'm just going to succinctly say movement is your body's natural mood medicine. If you try all of these other tips and they do not work, do this, right? 60 seconds every few hours. Simply get up, do 2 or 3 knee bends, right? They don't even have to be squats, full squats, just up and down, move, get that blood going, get the heart rate up a little bit, do some jumping jacks. If you can, go outside, take a walk around your office building, take a walk around your block. If it's too cold, if the weather is not great, if you have stairs, go up and down the stairs a couple times. You don't have to run, but just go up and down the stairs a couple times. Get the heart rate up. Remind yourself that you are human and you're not actually supposed to be sitting all day, every day. Do that for yourself. It is not going to take that long. And it will boost your mood. And second, extra tip, back bends. So that little stretch that I showed you earlier, where you're pulling together those shoulder blades and those shoulders come down away from those earlobes, that's a little baby back bend. So if you're physically able to, doing any kind of back bend is actually a natural mood booster. And you can look up other yoga poses like camel, cobra. Cat-cow is great if you work from home and you can get down on your hands and knees and do a few cat-cows. Amazing. Bow, sphinx, amazing. You can look up all of those. Super simple. You don't have to be this advanced yogi to do them. And they are natural mood boosters. So there you have it. Thank you for listening. I hope that this was helpful. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please share this with a friend who you think it can help. Please listen every week. I'm so grateful for everybody who does, and drop me a DM. Let me know if this was helpful. If you have a topic that you want me to cover, please let me know. I'm always on the lookout for interesting topics that actually resonate with you guys. So please subscribe, hit subscribe on Spotify, on iTunes, on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram at Courtney Austin Page and on LinkedIn at Courtney Page. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you next week.